Before we get out of here, we did get a little update on an exciting, maybe some exciting updates coming to Major League Baseball soon, coming to a baseball field near you. But we were big fans of the ABS system and the challenge system that they were testing out in what was it, Arizona Fall League, right? And we saw a little bit of that. But we got some updates.
If you came out to some Fall League games, you might have seen the ABS challenge system in play. And it is delightful. I've heard really nothing but good things about.
We love it. Everybody loves it.
Everyone who has seen it.
I feel like even the umpires love it.
I mean, you think so? Like, I guess they, at the end of the day, they just want the call to be right. But it does. I mean, it does require them to swallow their pride a little bit too, right?
You have to check your ego at the door when you're going to have a computer system telling you whether you were right or wrong on your calls, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I would want a computer system just like
Jesse. You don't have a computer system
all the time.
Jesse, you have live people in the chat telling you when you're right or wrong. You know that's how this works, right?
That's fair.
I've tried to tell you guys, there are people that try to keep up, like Yoshi tries to keep up on all of my mistakes. My mistakes? That's a full-time job, pal. That's not even a part-time gig. That is a full-time job documenting all of my mistakes. So again, I'm okay with it at this point, but I'm sure umpires really aren't, especially being like, big time in a baseball game. But you're going to have to deal with it because the challenge system is coming and you can't stop it.
Yeah, and I think if you're an umpire, you probably prefer the challenge system over just the full-on robot. Like, I am just here to relay whatever the robot tells me to call, right? Whether it's a ball or a strike.
We already have a challenge system now in baseball where they can challenge calls, right? Can challenge if a guy was safe at first. And I don't really feel like we understand that the human eye is not perfect and that it's difficult sometimes to see on a bang bang play whether a guy was safe or not, right? So,
well, you may understand that, but I think a lot of baseball fans forget that every now and then.
Oh, those umpires are out to get us. We know that, Jesse. That's insane to think anything else. But no, I mean, I'm just saying at times when the call's overturned, maybe about 23% of the time we're like, in your face, you stupid umpire. But the other 75% of the time we're like, yay or boo or whatever. But for the most part, we just want, much like the umpire, like you said, we want the call to be right. And I mean, we want it to go for our team, but we also want, I don't think at times when you're watching any sporting event, you're like really thrilled that even the other team got screwed. You kind of want to watch a game where the calls are right and the game is fair.
Yeah, that's what everyone wants the most, I think. But yeah, the news that we just got from Jesse Rogers over at ESPN today is that down in AAA, where they have been alternating between the challenge system and just the full-on, the robots call every single pitch, they are now just going to be using the challenge system moving forward. And that is a sign that if and when we get some sort of robot ump thing happening in the majors, it is a whole lot more likely to be the challenge system than to be just the
balls and strikes,
just the full-on ABS ball strike thing. Yeah, which in my mind, this is a positive for the sport. As someone who's seen the challenge system in person, as I alluded to earlier, I am a huge fan. I think it's fun. I've talked to players about this as well. They think it's fun. Everyone in the ballpark loves, when someone challenges a call and it shows up on the screen. You've got the nice little animation that shows you exactly where the ball was and whether it caught a piece of the zone or not. It's one of the cooler moments that happens during a baseball game. And theoretically, it could be happening several times and often at the biggest moments of the game where, I think people can live with not getting literally every single call correct throughout the course of a baseball game, but you want to make sure that you get the biggest ones right in the biggest moments of the game, and the challenge system will allow that to happen theoretically. So I think this is a step in the right direction, and we're not going to see it immediately. It's not coming this year. I don't think it's coming next year either. According to this ESPN article, they say that 2026 is the soonest we could possibly see it implemented into the majors. But I'm all for it, and I hope it happens. Hope it happens as soon as possible.
We have opened Pandora's box when it comes to changing baseball, and I am all for it because the problem is that there was this antiquated way of thinking of this game where you really do feel like nothing can be changed because of the stats and the league leaders and the this and the that and the awards and the everything. And it's just all so silly because at the end of the day, we all want to enjoy baseball and we want to find ways to make it better. And I think the only way to have a sport, especially a sport that at one time very much felt like its popularity was dying, reverse course and go in the other direction. And Jesse and I
Yeah.
were just reading the other day that baseball had one of its biggest weekends since 2000 and
It had, I think this past Friday through Sunday, which of course includes Father's Day, was the most highest attendance around the league over a weekend since 2008.
2008.
That's more than 15 years ago.
And I mean, obviously, the changes that they've made to the game are a big reason for that. Of course, so is the amazing polo shirt that the Diamondbacks gave away on Father's Day. The giveaway items are not, you can't discard that, right? Like every team in baseball is giving away awesome giveaway items lately. The quality has really stepped up and people come out for those days, but they also come out to spend a day with their father at the ballpark. And that's not necessarily something that they were all looking forward to doing when games started venturing into the 3.5 to 4 hour range. And that's what people thought baseball was and was becoming, right? So I feel like, again, these changes that they've made, they're a big part of the reason why we see the biggest, weekend out there in I mean, that's a long period of time. That's 16 years, right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest attendance. Like, I mean, again, it's because the game is changing and people like the changes that are being made. They like going to shorter baseball games. They like there being more action on the base path, more people stealing bases, more stuff like that. But I mean, again, it's just baseball is doing things now to make the game better. And I think, honestly, watching the challenge system is exciting. It's fun.
It's really cool.
I think it is an addition that people will find not to be off-putting in any way, not to be one kind of, making the ump look bad, but just something exciting when you see them make that call and you get to look up at the screen, much like in tennis, when they challenge whether a ball was in or out in tennis, you get to look up there and see if the ball was in the strike zone or not, and if they're going to reverse the call. And I mean, man, there is going to be some electric moments at baseball parks across this country when calls are overturned in favor of the home team, and it's a big moment. So, I mean,
especially like in the playoffs, just imagining like a really pivotal, like a walk turns into a strikeout or a strikeout turns into a walk. Like it could have a huge impact. And it'll just finally feel like, after years and years and years of watching umpires do, again, what you said earlier, like this is just part of being a human being. They're not going to be able to get everything right. It's not their fault. But the reality is that they never were able to get everything right. It's just not a job that a human being is capable of doing fully. And the challenge system would just be like, finally, justice is served.
Right.
Finally, not every single time necessarily, but finally there is a way for these calls to go how they should have gone initially. And I think that will be refreshing for a lot of people around the game.